carrying a 9-foot-plus longboard with anything other than a van or a long bed pickup truck can be tricky, especially if the vehicle isn't fitted with roof racks. Soft racks are a viable alternative, but are a bit of a pain and sometimes you just don't want to bother. Most smaller vehicles won't fit a plank of these proportions at all, including most compact crossovers. Even many larger ones require rearranging the seats in a way that convert a 3-row, 7-seat hauler into single-occupancy conveyance. And then there's the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. The packaging of the second-generation Crosstrek compact crossover makes it immediately clear why Subaru has such a dedicated following among the active lifestyle crowd. For starters, the 40 of the 60/40 split rear bench is on the driver's side instead of the passenger side, which means you can carry a second person should you need to fold both the front and rear passenger seats to fit something oversized. Second, that front passenger seat folds nearly flat once its headrest is removed along with the headrest from the folded rear seat. Thus, despite being only 175.8 inches in length, the Crosstrek can swallow up a log while leaving somewhere for a second occupant, be they your significant other, one of your surf buddies, or just a random guy you're paying with beer to take pictures of you surfing. For those planning on carrying more conventional loadouts, cargo volume measures in at 20.8 cubic feet with the rear seats up and grows to 55.3 cubic feet with them folded down. Maximum load floor length, a big part of the Crosstrek's ability to swallow long objects, measures at 32.3 inches with the rear seats up and 64.2 inches with the seats down. While it's long on longitudinal space, the 2018 Crosstrek is a bit short on power. Its naturally aspirated 2.0-liter flat-4 makes just 152 horsepower and 145 pounds-ft of torque, and as a result, the 3,230-pound crossover needs 10.3 seconds to hit 60 mph. However, it doesn't feel that slow while on the road except in passing situations thanks in part to its smooth and well-engineered continuously variable transmission, which does a solid job of keeping the engine near its torque peak. A 6-speed manual is standard on base and premium Crosstreks for those willing to sacrifice creature comforts for a third pedal. And if you are badly in need of more power, Subaru will be more than happy to sell you an Outback for a few grand more. One plus of the power shortage is that it won't hurt so much when it's time to fill your Crosstrek's gas tank. The 2.0-liter Boxer engine only needs regular-grade fuel and makes a gallon last for 27 miles in the city and 33 miles on the highway when equipped with a CVT. Opting for the manual drops fuel economy considerably to 23 mpg city and 29 mpg highway. Lack of power aside, the 2018 Crosstrek offers a relatively smooth, quiet, and compliant ride for its class. Steering is fairly quick and feels almost sporty, while the brakes do the job that's asked of them without complaint or excessive bite. In theory, you could take it into the canyons for a fun run, but there's not much reason to bother due to the aforementioned power shortage, unless you've got a trailhead to access. The new Crosstrek also delivers when it comes to infotainment thanks to Subaru's adoption of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which comes standard on all trims. The 2018 Crosstrek Limited comes standard with an 8.0-inch screen with the automaker's Starlink interface, which isn't wonky as before, and 6 audio speakers. Other standard goodies on the 2018 Crosstrek Limited included a power-adjustable driver's seat, heated front seats, leather upholstery, and shift paddles for the CVT. While these are nice to have, the truly active will likely be better served by stepping down to the Crosstrek Premium and its cloth upholstery, which can also be equipped with the EyeSight suite and accompanying blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert systems, but without the moonroof. You'd be able to shift your own gears too. You'd also save a few bucks, not that the Crosstrek is prohibitively expensive when loaded. Our tester rang in at $30,655 including destination, which makes it a good value even in fancy leather-trimmed and tech-filled garb. If you're looking for a versatile hauler that doesn't need much parking space and is easy on the wallet, the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek is a good choice provided you don't need to be anywhere in a hurry.
Most of us in the US have become used to the sight of Nissan NV300 vans as taxis or small delivery runabouts, but there is more to this platform, as Nissan revealed in Spain this week. Say hello to the ENV200 and NV300 camper concepts that are actually going into production. At least in Europe, for now. Designed with a retro flair, the campers feature a large couch that transforms into a bed, fold-out tables, roof tents, roll-up canopies and bike racks, among other items. The camper concepts also feature a sink along with a stove, a pantry for dry food items, plus a mini fridge. Both are also pretty compact. Most campers offered in Europe tend to be based on larger and longer vans, ranging from the latest VW transporters at the smaller end of the scale, to larger campers based on commercial van chassis from automakers such as Renault and Mercedes-Benz. The Nissan NV models, when put into production, will be some of the smallest van-based campers on the market simply because MPVs of the size aren't usually the starting points for camper conversions. As appealing as these look in equally retro two-tone colors, we can't help but think that this is the future of affordable housing in San Francisco, especially in electric form. Really, what else do you need besides a bathroom and a shower? It's really like a houseboat, but for the road, and with zero emissions.
Heavily camouflaged while testing on the streets of Detroit, the 2020 Subaru Legacy will ride on the new Subaru Global platform. Like other automakers, Subaru is working on a new modular architecture that will eventually underpin all future Subaru models. Not only does this help cut down on product development time and expenses for Subaru, it will allow the Japanese automaker to assemble multiple vehicle models at the same plant. The company is also said to be working on its next generation of four-cylinder boxer engines. Based on the current architecture, the next-gen engines will add direct injection, and by the 2020 model year, Subaru will also add cylinder deactivation to help improve fuel economy. The next generation Legacy should be offered as a 2020 model year, so expect to also see the new engines used in the mid-size sedan. Look for the new Legacy to debut sometime next year.
Just about every week it seems an automaker announces or reveals a new vehicle or puts a new spin on an old vehicle that millennials will just love. Even the pitches that are tone-deaf are usually met with the same eye-rolling response. Many millennials are settled with debt and working a job beneath their education because it's all they could get. Given enough chances, it was only a matter of time before an automaker actually hit the target, and Nissan may have done it. Buying the base model of an entry-level car used to mean you couldn't even get power windows or door locks, and it wasn't that long ago Bluetooth and automatic headlights were restricted to pricier trim levels. Rear cameras only became standard this year because the government mandated it. Things are getting better for the value shopper in general as customers expect more from their vehicles, but the 2018 Nissan Kicks takes it a big step forward. The 2018 Kick standard features read like a list of things you normally wish you could get as options on a base model. Automatic emergency braking and forward collision alert. Automatic headlights. 3 USB ports. Tilting and telescoping steering wheel. automatic up-down front windows, keyless entry and push-button start, a 7.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Bluetooth phone and streaming audio. All of that for $18,965. If you can scrape a few more pennies together, though, it's worth an extra month of eating ramen for the mid-grade SV model. The 2018 Kicks SV picks up an upgraded infotainment system with CarPlay and Android Auto and satellite radio, automatic climate control, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic monitoring, a cargo cover, remote engine starting, and alloy wheels for $20,665 all said and done. Unless you really want LED headlights and a surround view camera system, skip past the $21,265 SR trim, as it's mostly cosmetic, though it does add a few lines of software to the engine and chassis computers that are supposed to make it handle a little better. If you're going to splurge anyway, bank, borrow, or steal the extra $1,000 and get the loaded SR with the premium package. To the SR niceties, it adds nice faux leather seats with heaters up front, a security system, and a phenomenal Bose Personal Plus 8-speaker stereo. Let's take a moment to talk about this stereo. You're lucky if you can even get a premium stereo upgrade in a car that maxes out at $22,265 before accessories, and it usually just takes you from "it plays music" to "this sounds decent." The Bose stereo in this Kicks, no joke, sounds better than the base stereo in a $180,000 Bentley Bentayga. Play an uncompressed audio file off your phone, and marvel at the clarity of the individual instruments and the breadth of the soundstage, then remind yourself this is a $22,000 car. Part of the trick is a pair of speakers in the driver's headrest, which are there to manipulate the stage, not blow out your eardrums, though you can hear a difference if you turn your head all the way to the right or left. This stereo can be adjusted to focus sound at the driver when you're alone in the car. Fitting all these features into this price point did require decisions on Nissan's part, some tough and some curious. For example, rear parking sensors, a Rockford Fosgate subwoofer, an auto-dimming rearview mirror, and ambient interior lighting are all either standalone accessories or a small accessories package rather than rolled into a trim level or larger package. The upshot here is you can buy exactly what matters to you. In other cases, though, you're left hanging. Because the Kicks shares a platform with the Versa and Versa Note, all-wheel drive is not available. Nissan also opted against a navigation option, so your phone will have to suffice when service permits. Adaptive cruise control is also off the menu despite the automatic emergency braking system using a radar module and adaptive cruise only requiring some code and a steering wheel button. If you'd like any of this, you'll need to step up to the more expensive Rogue Sport. If you can live without all-wheel drive, however, there's a lot to like about the way the Kicks drives. A 1.6-liter i4 with a CVT driving the front wheels is your only option, and despite offering an underwhelming 125 horsepower and 115 pounds FT, it's much better than it sounds. Nissan's got an ace up its sleeve, and its acclaimed curb weight under 2,700 pounds, 200 pounds to 500 pounds less than competitors. Critically, the Kicks always feels like it's trying. This engine delivers a sense of urgency that's absent from the CHR, and it doesn't struggle with hills at freeway speeds like the HR-V does. Yeah, like the rest of them, it's still slow, but you don't feel like you need to floor it to avoid being run over. When you do floor it, the Kicks feels like it's actually moving. Part of this is thanks to new transmission software that finally whips Nissan's CVT into shape. The rubber band feel associated with some CVTs is gone, and when you really get into the gas pedal it automatically begins simulating shifts. It's much more like the class-leading CVTs from Honda and Subaru, and finally not a liability paired up with the eager-to-please drivetrain. The variable steering rack doesn't feel variable. It gives you linear and predictable steering response in corners with a nice way to it. The same can be said of the brake pedal. All of your inputs are met with the exact response you'd expect from them, which makes the kicks very pleasant to drive. In the city, the super tight U-turn radius is handy, and the surprisingly flat body control makes it fun to hustle. The tires have more grip than you'd expect and don't make any noise even when you're pushing them, though they do get loud on a concrete freeway. However you plan to drive it, you'll appreciate the large windows and the excellent outward visibility they provide. It's great Nissan offers blind spot monitoring and a surround view camera system, but it's even better they don't feel like mandatory equipment, as on some cars with their gun-slit windows. Up front, the cabin feels big and airy, especially for such a small vehicle. There's tons of leg and headroom up there, but the space around the driver's knee is cramped. My right knee was always touching the center console. The rear seat is more cramped, especially for the long-legged. The cargo area is surprisingly large and still fits a space-saver spare tire. Unfortunately, the second row doesn't fold flat, leaving you a two-level expanded cargo space. The rest of the interior is what you'd expect for a sub-$23,000 car. It's all plastic, unless you get Insta-Radian with its nice stitched faux leather wrap on the dash. The quality of the plastic is fine, as is fit and finish. The design is mostly inoffensive, though the door panels are big black slabs with a single trim piece to liven them up. Enjoy all the headroom, and don't look up at the mouse fur headliner in retro 90s map light console. Nissan calls the kick stylish and hip and says the kids will love it, but here's the straight talk, the Kicks is surprisingly well equipped with features you actually want, and it boasts killer fuel economy. If all-wheel drive isn't a must-have, it's hard to come up with another compelling reason to keep the Kicks off your shopping list.